Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Andrea, and I am Jaden's mum. Jaden is a young man that's currently living in Cygnet, Broughton Lodge. Jaden has autism, and he has challenging behaviours, and also he's non-verbal. So basically, this talk is about our journey of how we came to end up at Broughton Lodge, and basically, it started a while ago when he was basically 2 years old, 3 years old. He was diagnosed with autism, and during that time, we often wondered what will happen to Jaden when he leaves school. We wasn't sure what was going to do, whether he was going to give up work or whether he could go residential college or special needs college. We weren't sure. But anyway, during the summer of 2016, we became aware that Jaden was showing very challenging behaviours. He wasn't settled, wasn't getting on, and we just didn't know what to do. So during the summer holidays, it was very hard of that year. And during September time of 2016, Jaden started his last year at school. This time he was 17 and it was sixth form. And during that time, we thought, this is a bit too much for us. We can't cope. So we actually spoke to the head teacher and we basically asked, what can we do? She also noticed a change in Jaden. And in the end, we decided that maybe we need to consider residential care. So what she said to us was that maybe we should start looking online to see what was out there for us. I mean, at this time, we contacted other parents and a couple of us decided, yes, let's go and look together, because obviously at that time, more of us looking together, we know what we want, and things that I may miss, they may see, etc. So arm in arm, we went looking at all these places and it was very difficult. We found some places that were very nice, but when we told them about Jaden's needs, they basically said it was too much for them. And we found some places that looked like a prison when we went to look at their living quarters. Some places that actually looked like a hospital. And we just weren't happy. Basically, we found a couple of places which was very good. We went through the process, filled in application forms, had assessments, did observations, and only to wait for 2 months and be told, no, sorry, he can't come here. All this time we were looking, we actually had spotted Cygnet and it was on our list, but to say we didn't put it at the top of our list at the time because of the distance. We live in London and Jaden's in Macclesfield, and the journey, we just thought it'd be too far to be away from him. We basically felt that it's our duty to have Jaden, to look after Jaden, and it's like we felt that we failed, that we had to send him somewhere else. But one day, the head teacher actually came to us and said, I found a really nice place. I really found a good place. You really like this, but it's far away. And as soon as she said Cygnet, I thought, yeah, I've heard about this place. If you think it's good and we know that it should be good, let's try. So we had to then contact a social worker to get them on board, because as you all know, these things has to be funded by the local authority. And so we got them on board and we had to have lots of meetings, lots of best interest meetings. We had to make sure his special needs certificate, which is now called the EHC, which is Education Healthcare Plan. We had to make sure that was up to date. And then in the end, there was a time when there were about maybe 10 of us around the table, sitting down, deciding what was in Jaden's best interest. We all came to the conclusion that the best interest was for him to go residential, and with a view of maybe doing a life skills, to help him along. So with that in mind, we contacted Cygnet. Cygnet said eventually, yes, they had a vacancy for Jaden. And in the beginning of March of 2017, we had a visit from 3 staff members from Cygnet. One came to our home to see what we were like with Jaden so that they can make notes. One came to his school, and the other one came to a centre for special educational needs after school club to see what kind of activities that Jaden would normally do. And after that process, and it was a bit of a waiting game, because for us, you know, we was getting angry, not angry, but we was getting frustrated. We was thinking, oh, we can't cope. Jaden needs more than what we're giving him. At the time, he was actually just spending all this time locked in the house, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't mix with the community. He was causing a lot of property damage. We were just, we were just kind of getting frustrated. So afterwards, we kind of like just stuck with it, kind of making sure we got information, what's happening. And then when they told us, yes, now is the time he can come, we were so like relieved. We were sad because, yes, we want to have our child with us. But at the same time, we understood that, you know, this was the best thing for him. So at the end of March 2017, Jaden actually left his school. So that was 3 months before he should have left. And by the end of April, the 24th of April 2017, he made the journey from London to Macclesfield. And I have to say, at the time, we were sad. We drove separately to him. We got there, we spent the week with him. We, you know, got to know the staff, settling in, and, you know, we've not looked back. It's you know, it's been, you know, they've been really good to us. The service there has been brilliant. We've been so relaxed and, you know, settled in. So that's what happened in the run up to like Jaden going to Broughton Lodge. So now I'd like to share with you a video of Jaden's time. This video was actually made before the pandemic, but yes, it's a very good video. And when you watch it, you will understand why we are so pleased with Cygnet. Thank you.
Perfect, beautiful.
It was very difficult for us. Jaden had very challenging behaviours, and he became very difficult at home, in public, at school.
It was extremely challenging in the sense that Jaden did rip up the urinal toilets and the toilets at his school. Jaden did pull doors off of door frames. Jaden did rip car seats out of cars.
We just couldn't cope. We thought he needs a quality of life, he needs a better life. He needs to be with people that can help him to develop more open space and be free.
When he came here, he saw the space and he had sort of freedom to communicate, because here they allow him to communicate, they allow him to express himself. Jaden goes on mountaineering walks, he goes on viaduct walks. Another thing that they allow him to do as well is express the hobbies that he wants to do. For instance, he now does gardening, which he didn't get a chance to do, because, like Andrew said, he was always curtailed. Not because they didn't want to, they didn't have time to understand him. Here they can understand him and help him, rather than before it was more, how can we curtail him or just prevent him from having an episode.
Jaden has a diagnosis of learning disabilities and autism. There is times that Jaden may display risk behaviours at times. However, with working with Jaden, with supporting Jaden through positive behavioural support mechanisms, understanding Jaden, building a relationship, building trust with Jaden as well, over time we've got to a position with Jaden where he can express himself a lot better, he can communicate a lot better as well, but also Jaden's life is much more meaningful.
When Jaden began at Broughton Lodge, he came straight from home and from school, and he didn't have much of a routine. Over the last few years, we've tried to develop a timetable that's got Jaden's interests in, so that he's busier for longer parts of the day than he was when he first came, and he also does a lot more independence tasks. For example, he now makes his own breakfast in the morning, which he didn't do to start with, so they're all positive steps into Jaden becoming more independent.
They care for Jaden, they know, they really understand Jaden. I mean, even now, there's new words and stuff that Jaden says or communicates in his own kind of sign language. That we have to now, we're kind of like saying to the staff, what does this mean? Because they understand him very well.
Not only do we know that Jaden's with good care, but he has good support. And that is brilliant for us as well. And that takes a lot of pressure off us as well. Then you can focus on your job and your life. Things become a lot easier. You get a chance to breathe. You sleep in a way that you haven't slept for in years.
Parental contact is massively important for Jaden. It's meaningful, he looks forward to seeing them as well. Given that his parents live in London, it's a long distance away, so every time his parents do come up, we try and do something special for Jaden and his family. Today, Jaden's birthday, we put on a special party for him. It goes a long way in terms of updates and communication. Also, it's a positive experience for Jaden as well. He looks forward to these.
Main important for me again, yes, that he is safe, well looked after, that he is happy, he understands, he doesn't get frustrated, he can request what he wants and someone understands him, and he gets to do things.
Safety. He's got to be safe. He's got to be happy. Staff are amazing because not only are they professional, but they care and they understand him.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, so basically, based on what Andrea said and what on the video, all I can add to that is that from then it's improved even more. We get regular daily updates from Jaden, sometimes via FaceTime as well. So we always feel in touch. I often, going by what Liz says and what the experience she said, she sort of stated, one thing that I always say to the staff there, I'm always thanking them. And when Jaden does have his incidents, I always apologise to them. They kept saying, no need, it's our job. They care so much. But I always say to them, look, you have a choice of careers where what you want to do, where you want to go. You've chosen Cygnet and you've chosen Broughton Lodge and you've chosen to care for Jaden and other residents. And that means a lot. And they really do care. Even at the end of the shift, they're not sort of rushing to go off like other jobs. They're making sure that the children, the residents are safe. They give us regular updates, as I said, and they just care about us and they care about Jaden. And it then becomes like a sort of a family. Jaden is my primary number one concern in my life. But then Cygnet and Broughton Lodge and the staff and the managers as well, it then becomes like an extended family and we all sort of communicate with each other. So when we go there, it's like coming home to a sort of family, and Jaden's got that support, they give us support, and we always know what's going on. And if there's a problem, one thing I always respect as well, they're honest. If there's a problem, they tell us straight away and we work it out. And that's a brilliant thing. So I've not really got much more to add to say that Jaden's still doing wondrous things. He goes on mountaineering walks, he goes on lake walks, he goes on long sort of drives. When we go there as much as we can, we go with him and we have some wonderful adventures with him, and all these wonderful places. And even when we share it with friends back where we live, they all sort of ask where Jaden is, and we're able to send them videos and pictures. And it shows that Jaden's really engaged. Life skills. Jaden is doing things now that he wasn't able to do before, and he wants to do them. He knows how to relax. He knows how to engage. He knows what exercise. He chooses what locations he wants to go to, and he has that sort of open sort of space and scope to grow. Because all parents know that at some time you've got to let go of your child or give them a bit more space. Now, with parents of special needs, because you've got to sort of have that bit more protection, it's harder to let go, but it becomes easier. Now, it's never you'd always love your child, and there's always that sort of thing of, am I doing the right thing? But Cygnet and Broughton Lodge just made it so much easier for us because we're always in touch. It doesn't matter what time or day or night. If there's a problem, they let us know and we work it out. But so far, Jaden's happy and he's growing. We feel that we're going with him, and we're learning from them as well as them learning from Jaden and Jaden learning from them. So far, so good. We are extremely happy and extremely grateful. That's really got to say, really.